Commissioners. Dear Commissioners, a regular meeting of the Delta County Board of Commissioners is scheduled for Tuesday, February 17th, 2026 at 5:15 p.m. in the boardroom of the Delta County Service Center. Sincerely yours, Nancy Prozrocki, Delta County Clerk. Please rise for a word of prayer. As we begin this meeting, we thank you for our many blessings. We ask for your guidance to help our commissioners make decisions in the best interest of the citizens they serve. And Lord, we pray for the safety of our military men and women and our first responders. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call, Commissioner Melner.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Commissioner Vankenhoven.
I excused her.
Okay, and Commissioner Jensen.
Here. Okay, welcome everybody. We are going to start it off with special orders of business, the public hearing on animal control ordinance. So I need a motion to start.
I would move that we open the public hearing for the animal control ordinance.
Support. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. So we are now in public hearing. Now, anybody that wants to come up and talk, please give your name and where you're from. And are we doing
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Come on up.
My name is Jane Hines. I live in Escanaba Township. Been an active pet owner and an active shelter volunteer for many years, so I've dealt with lots of different situations. I did take the time to read through the draft. First time I've looked at anything like this, and I just got a couple questions, more food for thought than anything. One of my first things when they talk about dangerous animal under Section 2 definitions, they talk about the dog being on other property. My first thought came to dog parks. I didn't know if that needs to be identified in there, so that is clarified. My understanding of this is that the county is looking at having dog and cat licenses generated, and that is going to be done through the Treasurer's Department. And anybody that has multiple pets, and part of this, it talks about cats and dogs, and then I think other times it might talk about snakes, rabbits, whatever. So this just pertains to cats and dogs is what I'm asking and clarifying. They talk about, so one of my concerns with that is that how many people already we have that don't get rabies licenses. And so my question is that this, I understand where it's all driven. I think it's a good plan. My question is, how are you going to enforce it? At the shelter, we deal with people that are just not, should ever own pets. And I just wonder how you're going to have compliance for those kind of people. And those are the ones that really need this structure. When you get to Article 3, that talks about seizing dogs that aren't licensed, doesn't mention cats. Don't know if that's an overlook or how important that is. And then under that same section, it mentions animal control officers can seize cats found unrestrained on public or private property. I don't know of many people that have cats restrained on their own property at home. So my question was, is that something that's really enforceable and should maybe be looked at a little bit more? I know lots of people that own more than 3 dogs or cats, so this is going to affect, I think, a huge amount of population, probably more so than what people understand. The fact that they need to go to their local township or village or zoning administrator and have it verified that they have kennels that comply. So my question is, are the township official is gonna actually go out and do it.
Okay, thank you. I have Tricia Bellinger.
I'm so sorry, I just need to pull up what I was trying to say. Got lost. Okay. Hi, my name is Tricia Ballinger. I live in Gladstone. I just want to start by thanking all of you for your service to our beautiful community. I am here today to express my profound concern over the large number of residents not following the current leash laws that are outlined by the state of Michigan and those such ordinances of Delta County. I love dogs. My dog is an AKC certified good citizen dog, and he holds certifications of accomplishments in basic obedience, advanced obedience, junior handler, and even scent dog work. The reason I believe this is important information is because we can no longer go for a walk in the city of Gladstone without encountering multiple dogs on multiple streets that are off leash, no owners present, out of control, and not in a fenced-in yard. We have been fortunate to have such a well-trained dog that listens to our commands even under the stress of another dog coming at us in a threatening way and on multiple occasions attacking us. As a parent, my mind begs the question, what if this were a child? What if my dog weren't so well-trained? Just yesterday, my 4-year-old daughter was knocked off her scooter by a dog who was not on a leash and was on the sidewalk and not under the control of his owner. Then just down that same street, we were confronted by 2 other at-large dogs. For context, this all happened on the same street as Jones Elementary School. I am trying to explain that this is an unsafe situation and for the very reason that leash laws and ordinances exist. My dog was attacked recently by a dog where the owner told me she never restrains her dog and her dog has been hit by multiple cars multiple times. I say this to emphasize this is not only a public safety issue, but also an animal rights and prevention of cruelty issue. On numerous occasions, we've encountered owners who allow their dogs' tie-outs to go past the sidewalk, as well as electronic fences and GPS fences that do not properly contain the dogs within the property. I'm not going to claim I have the expertise to have the solution to these problems, but they are real problems plaguing the residents of Delta County. I have called Central Dispatch, I have called the city of Gladstone, I have written emails, but each time I am told the only solution is to continue to call Central Dispatch, which is not solving the problem. The Delta County Animal Ordinance states all animals should be kept on the restraint of a leash while off the property of the animal's owner. From my perception, this is placating the much larger issue facing Delta County. Yes, many of these dogs are on the owner's property while unrestrained. However, all it takes is one child or another dog walking by and suddenly the dog is in a public space posing a threat to those around them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Kristen Bordeaux?
Hello, thanks for having me. So I'm a dog, I'm from Brampton Township, I live outside of Gladstone. I'm an owner of 5 dogs, and I also work for a local kennel here in Gladstone. So I kind of have 2 parts of what I wanted to address. I've pored over this draft numerous times, and don't get me wrong, I like it. I like lots of parts about it. So I'm coming from the part of being in the dog business and from being a dog owner. So my confusion is also with the kennel licensing. Coming from my personal side, I have 5+ dogs. All right, 5 dogs. There's 8 dogs on our property. We have a second home on our property that my daughter lives in. So I'm more than willing to get a kennel license. Absolutely. I will do it if it's required. I will go and do it. However, looking through personal side and through the business side of it, it's very confusing. So I made a couple calls today trying to get our business side to be able to come forward and get the correct licensing that we need. And I was literally shoved around from the USDA to the Department of Agriculture, which then told me to call my local animal control officer because he was the one to do the inspection. So help, just help us. We want to be in compliance and we want to do it correctly. And then my other part is I wanted to make sure that there was some sort of limit to how many personal animals can be held at a property. Yes, I have 5 dogs. All my dogs are vaccinated for everything. They all go to the vet every year for an annual exam. But, and many of the clients that we serve, we are the exception of the rule of normal dog owners in Delta County, unfortunately. And as a business, we strive that our clients do the training, get the vaccinations, be established with a vet. And we also want to make sure now, because we've never have stressed that they should be licensed, so we want to be that company that comes out and says, this is what we need to do. You need to also go out and get your dog a license and make sure we're telling them the right thing. My other thing comes in the part of animal violations and cruelty. So it has to do with 2 things on there. Under the stray, I know that it only specifies an unspayed female running a stray. Trust me. We have more issues from unneutered males coming than unneutered females. And the other thing is, item C, where a park where an animal is permitted because unless they are assisting a handicapped person. I don't know if you need that in there. What we cover under service dogs, that's covered under the ADA. Thank you.
Thank you. Jordan? Jordan? It's like tie-in? Okay, we'll go to the next one. It looks like Courtney Verbrigge.
Hi, my name is Courtney Verbrigge. I'm a Delta County resident and I live in Escanaba Township. I just want to say I appreciate the county's efforts to update the animal control ordinance and to protect both animal welfare and public safety. For those of us like myself who are newer to deep dives into law, I would like to briefly explain why ordinances are so important. An ordinance does not change state law. State law sets the minimum standards, but local ordinances determine how those laws are enforced within a community. In animal welfare cases, ordinances define standards of care and allow intervention before situations become severe. They are how state law is applied at the local level. With that context, I would like to focus my comments on one specific area of the proposed ordinance that I believe needs further consideration due to its impact on rural residents. I am concerned about the treatment of cats under this new ordinance, particularly provisions that allow cats to be considered unrestrained when roaming. Delta County has a large number of farms and rural properties where cats are traditionally allowed to free roam for rodent control and general farm management. Applying urban-style confinement expectations to cats in these settings may not reflect the realities of agricultural life in our county. I support appropriate enforcement and strong animal welfare standards, including seizure when necessary. However, recognizing the role of free-roaming cats in agricultural and rural environments would help ensure the ordinance is fair, practical, and well-received by the community it governs. I respectfully request that the board consider clarifying exemptions or standards for cats in agricultural and rural settings. Thank you to the board for revamping the current ordinance and for the opportunity to provide public input and for considering adjustments that reflect the diverse living environments within Delta County. We live in a community full of animal lovers, and the efforts being made to improve this ordinance do not go unnoticed or underappreciated by residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Jean Hines? Okay. Anybody else?
Joe Kaplan. I live in Ford River Township with 3 wonderful dogs and a wonderful wife, equally wonderful wife. Very well behaved most of the time. I just have a few comments on, in Article 2 under definitions, under animal control officer, it says a law enforcement officer or other official in Delta County responsible for enforcing this ordinance. This includes conservation officers, which seems kind of redundant since conservation officers are law enforcement officers, and that or other official in Delta County. seems a little vague. And I don't know if it's not a law enforcement person, then it probably should be identified. I think that would be more comforting to me as a animal owner and as private property owner. Under kennel, a place where 3 or more dogs are kept for sale. And then there's a definition for large-scale breeding kennel where more than 15 female intact dogs. 3 seems a little low to me. I think that reflects the comment from a previous person who was here. So I think that 3 should be revisited, because I certainly don't consider myself having a kennel. Under Article 3, Delta County Ordinance, you can enter, it says, enter private property excluding buildings and curtilage unless with warrant, emergency, or other exceptions. 2, check if owners are following this ordinance and seize dogs that are not licensed or are violating the ordinance. That feels, I see the carve out for with a warrant, but I have some issues with Fourth Amendment privacy protections there. I don't think that wording is required, especially if you're relying on law enforcement to enforce it. And I certainly don't think the county would want to seize dogs that are not licensed. Wouldn't it just be better to give a ticket? So I'd be careful about that under concerns for Fourth Amendment. And then investigate animal cruelty and complaints and seize animals that have been cruelly treated. That feels like that gets into more criminal in nature than civil. So again, I wonder what the role of having a warrant for seizure on that, because I think dogs and pets are considered private property under the law, for better or for worse. And then animal control officers can seize cats found unrestrained on public or private property, and on the private property, I would think that would only be with the owner's permission. I do like the license fees. If anyone's has issues with this being a moneymaker, this is not a moneymaker. Those fees are incredibly reasonable. Thank you so much.
Anyone else? Chris, do we have anybody on the phone?
Oh, this is for the public hearing, so we
Oh,
wouldn't have,
okay.
yeah.
Nobody else? I will,
Motion to close public hearing.
Support.
all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Okay, thank you for all the good input. Number 5, approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, county board minutes of 2/3/26.
I have an amendment I would like to request. Sorry. I have, in the statement that I made at the end under my commissioner comments, it was an opinion, and the way that it's written as if it's a statement of fact. So I would like to request that the end of my commissioner comment, where it says energy bill will be significantly impacted if these don't go through, I would like that amended to say either it was the opinion of or may, because it was an opinion. And I did go through the transcript to make sure, but I do say, I believe that our energy bills, so it was an opinion.
Motion to approve with amendment.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 6, approval of the agenda.
I would make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 7, presentation of written communications received and forwarded. There was none. Number 8, reports of standing statutory and special meetings and others. There was none. Public comment on the agenda items. Any public comment on agenda items? Chris,
I
any?
do not have any.
Okay, seeing none. We will move on to committee reports, administrative report.
Thank you. Delta County has now switched to BSNA, which is our current financial platform, software platform, for their payment system. That was something the board had approved a few meetings back. This is to better communicate with our current financial software that we have. The county treasurer is spearheading this transition. County residents may see different payment screens when they go to make an online payment, such as when they go to pay their taxes. We intend to keep the prior payment system for an overlap period, just because the information on the last tax bill went out with that. So we just want to make sure that if they're following that, that they have a means to pay. And the go-live date is scheduled for the end of this month. So there will be information on the county website with the new look and if there's new directions for how to make a payment. House Bill 5317, the House Natural Resources and Tourism Committee unanimously passed House Bill 5317, led by Representative Cam Cavett out of Alpena. Under this bill, counties with a population of under 100,000 could reduce the appointed seats on their Parks and Rec Commission from 7 to 4, which helps rural counties cut back on their per diem costs, meeting-related costs, while maintaining local oversight. MAC is in support of this bill, so I just wanted the commissioners to be aware of it in case it does have any changes and reflection on our current Parks and Rec Commission. The way that I read it, though, it does leave discretion up to our county, so we can continue with the same membership if we so choose. The county audit for fiscal year '24 is complete. I posted it to the state treasury website. We have a scheduled date to begin the fiscal year '25 audit. Once the audit is complete, we're going to have our auditor come in and give a presentation. We're going to combine those two audits, so it'll be one presentation on both fiscal years for the board. And finally, the county is actively seeking membership to our Brownfield Authority. The authority has not convened here in Delta County in quite some time, and we're trying to get the authority back in place so we can take a look at our structure of our authority and any future development sites and plans here in Delta County, so that we're prepared in case those opportunities do become available here in Delta County. If you're interested on being on this authority, you can fill out the county application on our website to be considered by the board and placement onto that authority. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to place on file.
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Number 2, IT minutes of 2/3/2026.
Yeah, so we met on February 3rd, and we did not have any action that we needed to take, but we did have some old business that we got updates from our IT department. So those old business items were where the data center in the courthouse is going to reside, moving from the basement to a different location, and then also board packets online and how those board packets are becoming more and more available online. And then we did talk about some new business, which was just informational. We didn't make any decisions. But the BSNA cloud, right now we have our BSNA software resides local on servers in our control, and BSNA is moving from that model to a cloud model. And so we are talking about what does that look like for us moving forward, mostly from a financial perspective, but also just something for us to be looking out and being prepared for. Nothing really soon. We're talking maybe 3-4 years out, but we're starting to at least have the conversation at this point. And then we talked about some of the updates on desktop replacements and software and so forth. So just a basic update from the IT department.
Yeah. Can I get a motion to put on file?
I'll move to place the IT minutes from 2/3/26 on file.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 3, finance minutes of, you want to take them separate or do them both at once?
You can do them both at once.
Okay.
That's fine.
Minutes of 2/5/26 and meeting of 2/12/26.
So Commissioner Williams, myself, and our administrator met. As most know, we're starting to get to that point of already starting to work on our budget already again. One of the items which we'll discuss in further detail is item number 3 on your agenda. That was brought forward by the airport in our last meeting, and that's for the repair of the one loader we have. We'll actually discuss that further, and like I said, item number 3. 2 other items that were, and these were discussion only, and one of them, again, goes back towards the budget, but it deals with our Headley rollback and what the county is able to capture currently or not. And then the other item, again, was set just for discussion, but it's a surcharge that's on the 911 service. And then on 2/12, that was a general meeting dealing with our general fund. That will be a reoccurring item in our finance meeting. One of the other things we're going to start to do is we're going to slowly start bringing the department snapshots in and looking at those, not just where we currently are, looking back historically to be able to come up with a better strategic plan that will cover us out for at least the next 10 years.
Okay, can I get a motion to put that on file?
Motion to approve and place on file.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Number 4, departmental updates. Any department heads? Any departmental updates? Seeing none, we will go to new business, payment of the bills.
I've examined all claims presented and recommend payment of the following, and that the county clerk be directed to issue orders on the county treasurer to the claimants for the amounts allowed. We have grand total of bills of $359,587.34. We also have commissioner expenses of $1,031.55.
I would move that we pay our bills.
Support.
Roll call?
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Van Genhoven is absent. Jensen?
Yes.
And Melner.
Yes. Okay, our bills are paid. Number 2, planning commission review updates.
We have Ms. Amy Berglund, the chair of the planning commission, here to present to you.
Hello there. Thank you for having me. Just wanted to give you a quick update on some activities that occurred last year, and then some agenda items that we're looking forward to in the coming year. For 2025, the Planning Commission held 9 meetings. We canceled 3 meetings because we didn't have a project or a zoning request on the agenda. We reviewed 11 zoning change requests. 9 of those were approved and were forwarded to the Board of Commissioners for consideration. 2 were denied. Of those 2, 1 was asked to come back with a different zoning request that was suggested by the commission. They came back and that was approved. Another one that was denied, Commissioner John Denholm came up with a better approach to the request, which didn't require an approval from the Planning Commission. So those were the only 2 that were denied of those 11. We had 1 change in the board makeup. As you recall, we dropped from 2 county commissioners on our board down to 1. So Commissioner Jensen has been on our board, and then we added a representative from the Township Association. We kicked off the review and revision to the 5-year Delta County Master Plan. In May, we reviewed and accepted the proposal from QPAD for that contract. They were the only proposal that we received. Ryan Carrig is the project manager for that. Ryan's been doing an outstanding job. He's been bending over backwards to make sure that we are up to date on what's going on and what's expected of us, and also gathering feedback from the Delta County residents. That work will continue into 2026. Currently, we have, I believe, the end of last summer, early fall, made public a survey to gather feedback on land expectations and just general feedback from the communities. We have right now well over 1,000 surveys that have been completed and submitted. And that was largely due to Ryan making sure that there were enough copies to the townships, and they went out in the tax bills in November. And he said that's made a significant difference, and he continues to get surveys submitted. In the new year, we'll start scheduling public meetings, and Ryan will continue to address the board on updates and looking at different portions of the master plan, so that we know what to expect. And then we'll expect to have a final draft, and probably sometime this summer. And then hopefully complete that for approval by the end of the summer or early fall. We also, in 2025, had some work on the PA 233, the Compatible Renewable Energy Zoning Ordinance. This was, Commissioner Jensen was leading up that task and provided some language to the commission to consider. We reviewed it and referred it to legal counsel for feedback, and we're waiting for that now. So we'll expect to see that on an agenda coming in the new year, or this year. In 2026, we'll also be considering and having a lot of conversations around data center placements and projects. We are looking for a variety of speakers to bring into the commission, subject matter experts, so that we have, there's a lot to get our arms around on this topic, and we want to make sure that we have a good understanding of it. And then our intent or our end goal is to identify realistic guardrails for those projects. We don't want to be caught off guard. We don't want to be taken advantage of. We also want to stay open for economic development. We don't want to be passing or being passed over for those kinds of considerations. So that work is ongoing. We're in the very beginning stages of that and identifying speakers to come in. In January, we had 2 new board members that started. So thank you for those appointments. It's good to see some fresh faces and fresh perspectives. So appreciate that. We're also looking for to provide them with some training through the MSU Extension Citizen Planner, so that they can get up to speed with the rest of us. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you to Jack Smith and Rachel Pasco for all of their work. It's not easy keeping us all on task and organized, but they're doing it, and I know they have short time to do that. So big thank you to them. So that's all I have, unless you have questions.
I have a quick question about the master plan.
Mm-hmm.
Are there are there going to be like community gatherings where you have like business and so forth groups? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I'll just look forward to seeing those advertisements then.
Yep. Ryan will be looking for those as soon as he's got the data from the surveys compiled and ready to
Okay.
talk about at those public meetings.
There's one other question I just remembered. When you started talking about the master plan, you said 5-year. Is it a 5-year master plan, or was that just a?
I believe it's every 5 years.
Every
Yeah,
5
it's
years,
5 years.
okay.
The current one is from 2019.
Okay.
That we're replacing or revising.
Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Any more questions for Amy?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I would make a motion to place the annual Planning Commission report on file.
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 3, airport loader repair. Ashley's not here.
No, but you'll see in your board packet, she did write up a request form outlining the request to the board. We currently have the new loader that is due to be delivered here, but it's not going to be delivered until after this winter season. Our current loader did break down. It is highly used by our airport. We have to knock the banks down to certain height levels in order for the planes to land on the runway, and so it's a very important piece of equipment. And so we were looking at getting that repaired. It does have a lot of life left in it, so it is worth the money that would go into the repair to extend the life of it. And then we would, once we get the new loader, use this loader as our backup so that if there is ever a time where our main loader is down, we do have a form of backup. We're very appreciative to the city of Escanaba, who did lend their equipment and their employee time to our airport during one of our big snowstorms to be able to come over and knock our banks down to keep the airport open. So a big thank you to the city manager and the manager of Public Works for allowing us that opportunity and keeping the airport open.
And if anybody was interested, it was the transmission that was gone on the front end loader. And it looks like it's gonna be $43,720.77 to fix it, so.
I would make a motion to provide the airport manager an expenditure of up to $45,000 for the transmission replacement.
I'd support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion pass.
I was gonna say our
Oh,
maintenance guys.
should we do a recall on that? All right. Recall.
Well, not today.
No,
Our maintenance guys too,
Okay.
use the.
because we got money
loader
going.
from the sheriff's
Yes.
department.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Commission-
call then.
Yep. Commissioner Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner Jensen?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
And Commissioner Melner?
Yes. Okay, number 4, request to fill park seasonal positions. And that was requested by Heather Leduc, which is the parks manager.
I believe she's on vacation right now, so she wouldn't be here to address it.
Yes, these are our current positions that we had last year as well. As part of our Parks Department, every year, because they're seasonal positions, they do have to be brought back to the board for approval in filling those positions. So our Parks Manager is just looking for the board to approve those positions. They would be during the dates of May 1st through October 12th for this season.
Okay. Motion to accept.
So moved. I would make the motion to approve the posting and hiring of the seasonal positions for the Parks and Rec
Support.
Department.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 5, Michigan Works Lease Amendment Agreement.
We've had some moving around going on in our service center here due to the fact that we are still in the process of moving our dispatch center over to the service center. Because of that, our current lease with Michigan Works, the square footage of the lease has changed due to an area in which they now have given back to the county to be able to use to move Michigan State Extension. And so because of that, we're just looking at 2 amendments that you'll see noted in the lease to change the square footage, which then changes the annual cost of the lease with Michigan Works.
Okay. Motion?
Motion to approve?
Support.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 6, request to donate sick leave.
This is a request from an employee for donation of sick leave. We also have Mark Hansen, who is retiring this month. He does have a sick leave bank that he can only claim up to so much, and he's looking at donation of the remainder of it to the employee.
Move approval?
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 7, out-of-county travel, MAC conference. And that'll be in Traverse City.
Motion to approve?
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 8. And this is LOA, Courthouse Victim Witness Coordinator.
This is a letter of agreement that was brought to my attention after the courthouse union contract was ratified just this past year. There was a characterization or categorization, I should say, of our victim witness coordinator in the union contract in the appendix. It was listed as a salaried position, and it's not. It's actually an hourly position. It's a grant-funded position, so the grant budget is an hourly, and so we wanted to make sure that that position was put back into the grading scale where it belonged for that position, out of salary and into the hourly position.
I would move that we accept the letter of agreement.
The resolution?
This isn't a resolution, it's just a letter of agreement between the.
That's all it is?
Yeah, yep.
It reads like a resolution.
Yes, yep, it's just a letter of agreement between the union and yourselves as a board to make sure that we can make that correction in the contract.
Okay. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 9, ePasco transfer request to fill client services support clerk.
So we had one of our employees from district court that moved from the part-time position into the full-time position. And so this is just asking the board to fill that part-time position that she vacated.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. We are at number 10, and this is FOIA Appeal number 26-20.
So I think if you don't mind, I just would like to make a suggestion here. With these FOIA appeals, 10, 11, and 12, they're all very similar, and, not 10, 11, and 12, sorry, 26, 20, 26, 21, 26, 22. They're 10, 11, and 12 on our agenda.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
And 13.
Well, yes, but that one's very different.
Okay, yeah.
So they're very similar, and what's interesting about them is that they do basically ask for the same information in 3 different ways and then appeal that decision in 3 different ways. I believe at this point with this particular individual requester that these are repeated requests for the same information. I believe that the requesters should be exercising their right to judicial review at this point. I don't think that the outcome is going to change at all. And so unless they want to exercise their right for a judge to review this material, I just don't see how it's going to be any different for us. So I would say that we uphold the denial just now and move on with it rather than have a special meeting to cover it. So my recommendation, we accept it, the appeal, and that we would uphold the denial for FOIA appeals 2620, 2621, and 2622.
Motion?
Yep.
Support?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Number 13, FOIA Appeal number 2632.
So this FOIA appeal, it was very interesting. The language in the request was very specific. And it's because that language was so specific that the response was to that specificity or whatever, I don't know how to say that word. So I really believe that the requester was looking for records that were pertaining to the system migration, basically the old system that the prosecuting office used into the new system, and that they were really looking for records that were pertaining to that migration, just in general. But that's not what they asked for. They added a statement onto their request that said, the language in the request, so it asked for records discussing how the system migration affects the prosecutor's office's ability to respond to FOIA requests. Because of that bit of language, it made the response very specific. And so unfortunately for this requester, I think that they really need to modify that request so that they are more generally looking for what they want. So in this case, I would uphold the denial on this one as well. But I would suggest that the requester maybe reformulate the question to get the information they're actually looking for. So I would make a motion that we accept that denial or appeal and then uphold the denial based on the information that was requested and the case number FOIA request 2632.
I'll support.
Okay,
Do we need a roll call on those?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
no. All in, we got a motion, second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion pass. Okay. Number 12, general public comment. Any general public comment? Come on up. No,
I'm a resident at this point because I have been threatened by an individual for calling on the inhumane treatment.
I don't think you have to give your name, so you're welcome to come up and
Yeah.
address the board. You do not have to give your name.
My concerns about it is I have called law enforcement 9 times last summer in regards to this dog's inhumane treatment. And I have stood by in different areas and watched what they have done and what they haven't done. And they barely ever check on this dog. They'll roll up, look around, knock on the door, talk to the individual. And I have mentioned to them more than once that this dog is out there on a 7-foot chain, 24/7, no shade, barely any water ever, and food I've never seen. And when I got documentation, I wrote everything down. The ears have been bloody, face is all bloody from the flies. In the winter, same thing, out there. And since they don't respond so well, there's a few individuals within the neighborhood that have also called the law enforcement several times trying to get some help for this poor dog. But now the neighbors, and I don't know if we're helping or hurting, but, they stepped up and tried to put a little pool down for the dog for the summer so it has some water. Because like I said, there's nothing out there, just a doghouse. And the poor dog, and I have pictures, but the poor dog digs holes behind the doghouse trying to get up, into the shade. So now our doghouse is tipped. It's just ridiculous. And when I have tried to help, this individual has threatened me. And I tried to suggest to him that, really, you think you'd be thankful somebody's trying to help you. But the last time the officers did go there, because the dog, which we did in the neighborhood, put straw in the house for the poor dog for the winter, because it's out there all night, 10 below with the wind blowing, really? So I don't know if these ordinances, the one I have, I don't know when the last time it was revised. The one I'm looking at, it says it hasn't been revised since '07. I haven't gotten a draft, which I didn't know there was a draft up. But I'd like to see more things kind of enforced and more, more access for law enforcement to be able to do what they should be able to do. That I had mentioned the dog doesn't have rabies no tags on it, it's just out there. And I had mentioned that, and it says here they're supposed to be licensed, have proof of rabies, all of this, and nothing is being enforced. I understand we don't have animal control, but there should be some kind of law enforcement act to take care of what, people's concerns are. I've been reading through the old one. The animal, they can seize and pounding of an animal, which has been determined upon investigation to be subject to such cruelty. And, what is the cruelty? How much inhumane treatment do these animals take? And this isn't the only dog that I've dealt with since I moved back. I don't know. I don't know where to go, but I know that more needs to be done to enforce and give these law officers more, authority to be able to do something.
Thank you.
If you're gonna go up and ask them, they should be able to show proof of everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any general public comment?
Good evening. Sandra Skiba, Maple Ridge. As you know, I'm here on behalf of many. As Delta County elected commissioners, you represent not only your districts, but the people as a whole. We respectfully remind you that you are our representatives and are paid by the people as such. We believe each of you ran with ethics, honesty, and transparency as core values as politicians. On behalf of the residents who believe in law and order, common sense, and living in a safe environment, we want to thank our County Sheriff's Department for doing their job when cooperating with immigration enforcement. We would also like to express our dismay hearing that a sitting commissioner questioned the sheriffs regarding their willingness to comply with federal law enforcement. We have a group of concerned parents who would like to discuss school security being a priority that is just as important as protecting our county courthouse. This will be brought to school boards as well. As we have been able to cross party and county lines, putting the Upper Peninsula future first and foremost, we can't allow a future that will see us raising our children and grandchildren to leave, but instead we want them to have a future right here, and we want others to always make this their destination spot. Having been able to cross county and party lines in support of a better tomorrow, we are concerned about a commissioner sending a known community social media Karen to another county in hopes of gaining endorsement. The concern comes when said Karen allegedly accosted a Democrat board member because they would not endorse her choice for the position in District 38. To know that common sense Democrats and common sense conservatives are communicating is wonderful. That is what is needed. But this is an embarrassment to Delta County as a whole. As commissioners, you all represent us all. The following is said with not any malice whatsoever, but with just concern. Having a drink or two and getting on the road isn't something most would point out, except when you are representing Delta County as a commissioner. Even though we only reimburse for food, non-alcoholic drinks, tips, mileage, fees, and such, the records do show alcoholic beverages being drank and proof of driving directly thereafter. We do not want to have any of you, respected community members, who are serving our county harm themselves if an accident should happen. We wouldn't want this fact to be included in a lawsuit if someone else was involved. While being paid for your travel, you are technically traveling on Delta's dime, and we wonder, could the county be held accountable? We want to work together to head in the direction for our county and for all of the Upper Peninsula. Let's be honest, transparent, ethical, and respectful of each other and those who represent the rest of our great UP. Lastly, I would like to invite you all and anyone interested to an open house event this Saturday, Red, White, and Informed, from 2 to 6 at Old Glory Community Room. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Anything else? No?
Joe Kaplan, Ford River Township. I was talking with some folks in the veterinarians, and they brought up a good point, and I think it goes back to animal control officer and the fact that we don't have one. But identifying someone within law enforcement, if it's not a position, but someone within this is going to be the sheriff's office, that would be responsible for taking the lead for investigating reports of animal cruelty or neglect, and working with local veterinarians to identify those problem or those issues. Where I left off last time, the one thing I really like about this ordinance is that it encourages people to register their animals, which I think offsets some of the issues of law enforcement having to respond to animals, not just a single animal control officer, the way it was when, when I first moved here in 2009, there was a single person, that person retired. I think that position was completely eliminated. So there still is a cost to the taxpayer of having law enforcement involved, but you don't have someone whose principal job it is to do that. I do like the fact that for microchipped animals, which I think every animal that you adopt from the shelter, that it's $50 for a lifetime, which really encourages registering your animals. And I think to address the issue as the last woman just brought up as far as noncompliance, I think once you have registered animals, then it's really the responsibility for people to have those animals to be responsible. And I noticed that some of the violation, the civil violation for not complying is no less than $10 and no more than $100. And I think that people that don't treat their animals well should be fined just civilly, just like we do for other civil situations in which you break the law. It's not pleasant, but it does help with compliance. So thank you very much.
General public comment. General public comment? Seeing none, we will continue to commissioner comments. Commissioner Johnson.
As always, we appreciate the turnout. Everybody, thank you for showing up and giving us your feedback. Very good tips, so we'll keep going.
Commissioner Judson.
Yeah, thank you for the large turnout tonight over this. It was definitely, it's really nice, especially with something that's so old, to go through. I know Commissioner Williams has done a ton of work on this as well. But to get the other, there's no way any one or a couple people will think of everything. So the other insights tonight were definitely very helpful. So thank you on those. Two items I wanted to bring up. Our new veteran service officer was hired, and they started on February 5th. So currently in the county veteran service office, we have 2 VSOs there now to help our veteran population and their spouses. And the caveat in there to that is coming up on March 25th, and it will run from 1 p.m. until 2:30, and it'll be in the Enbridge building on building numbers 2811, 27th Avenue North, which is that way. There will be a Easter basket for those veterans that are in need, and that's being done with the service office, but being provided for by the Community Foundation of Delta County. So if there's any of those that are in that, that fit in there, they will need identification. So they will need to bring either a copy of their DD-214, a military ID card, a county veteran ID card, driver's license with the veteran identification on it, or a VA healthcare ID card. Thank you.
Commissioner Williams.
I've got a couple of things. I would like to pay respects to a former county commissioner who just passed away on February 7th. Daryl Bengree, who served as county commissioner for, I believe, 12 years. So at that time, it would have been 6 terms. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, I think that we can all respect the fact that this job is challenging at best, and I want to commend him for the work that he did. I met him when I first came to town, and I became a planning commissioner for Escanaba and also for Delta County. I was a planning commissioner for both of those groups, and Mr. Bengry actually helped me navigate some issues, and I appreciate the time that he spent with me, and I also appreciate the kindness that he showed me. So I would just like to pay my respects to him. Also, and I wish the family well. So, also, I wanted to mention that the animal ordinance, there's been a lot of discussion. We've had a lot of good feedback. I really appreciate everyone's feedback. One of the things that I think was just maybe miswritten in the ordinance was the kennels. Although it's 3 or more dogs or 3 or more cats, a cattery, whatever you call it, it's not meant to be, personal. It's not meant to be like if you have 3 dogs, then you're a kennel. That's not what that's interpreted, or that's not the way it's supposed to come through. So we certainly need to work on that. We really have gotten some great feedback. I sincerely appreciate everyone coming out and providing that feedback and contacting us as individuals and providing the feedback. I think we're going to come out in the end with something that is going to be very clean and easy to, or I should say easier to enforce. I think some of the enforcement issues right now are because the ordinance that is in place is specifically written such that we have our own animal control officer, and we have our own shelter, and we have all of these resources around this particular type of enforcement, and that's simply not the case. It's completely different than what it was when that original ordinance was written, and so we need to repeal that old one, and we need to put in a new one with the way that we operate today. I really liked some of the feedback. I think we're gonna do a good job of getting this right. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you for all your input on the ordinance. That was great. I was last Tuesday down in Lansing. I am on the MAC board, and the Attorney General wanted to meet with the Board of Directors of MAC. So Tuesday, we met with her. There was some questions, and it got to the point where she was doing really good. She got back from, because the feds took so much money away from the states, she got back $2.2 billion back to the state of Michigan. She had 45 lawsuits that she was doing, and there are still some organizations that it could be still low on money because they didn't get the full amount back. If there is, please get a hold of me, and I will go from there and see if I can get you the rest of the money, because she told me she's just get a hold of her, and they'll see what they can do. You did talk a little bit about the Public Service Commission with the having the counties have the control again. We did talk a little bit about data centers, and she is planning on having a town hall meeting anytime somebody wants that to happen in that county. So it was a good thing. She did have some good information for us. I did ask her one of the things, because we've had so many FOIA requests, that she says, when I first started this job, it was like she was totally against anything like, what should I say? She was for all the FOIAs, I should say, but now that she has read every one of them, she says there's a lot of FOIAs that need to be, but she says, I can't do a thing about it. It's got to go through legislation to make a law to get rid of some of it. So that's some work that's got to be done. Other than that, that's all I have. Our meeting schedule, next board meeting is 3/3/26 at 5:15 right here at the Service Center, and then at 3/17/26 at 5:15 here at the Service Center, and then we're into April already, 4/7/26 read here at the Service Center. 30-day notice of appointment. There is an opening for the Department of Human Services. It's one state and one county person. Building Authority and Brownfield Development Authority are all new, so if anybody's interested, please get a hold of the clerk's office, or you can go online. I need a motion to adjourn.
I would move that we adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.